Alex Salmond returning to the political fray with a new party to contest the upcoming Holyrood elections, Alba.
Alba will contest the upcoming Scottish elections as a list-only party under my leadership, seeking to build a supermajority for independence in the Scottish Parliament.
Salmond is claiming that this will do no harm to the SNP at all. He can do so because of the Scottish electoral system, where there are essentially two votes for the constituencies and the regional list. He's only standing candidates in the regional list seats, which the SNP can't do well in because they dominate in the constituencies. He therefore claims he can bolster Holyrood with more pro-independence MSPs, not at the SNP's expense, but of the unionist parties who get elected on the list.
Our motivation is to guarantee an independent supermajority in the Scots Parliament. We fully expect the Scottish National Party to sweep the constituency section, but one of the byproducts of the SNP doing that is they get next to no seats or representation in the regional list. In fact, there could be 1 million wasted SNP independence votes. So the Alba Party, or Alba to give it its Gaelic pronunciation, we'll be going for the list vote, the regional list vote. We'll get more MSPs and we'll build that independent supermajority in the Scots Parliament, which I think will be crucial in rebalancing the power between Westminster on the one hand and the Scottish Government on the other. It looks, every indication is that Nicola Sturgeon will be returned as First Minister. But Alba's role will be not to go into government, but to contribute to that independence supermajority. We're also going to contribute ideas about recovery from the pandemic, which the economic tsunami, which is about to hit us. We're badly needing ideas for recovery. And also furnishing the independence platform, because the world has moved on since 2014. And we've got to make sure that the independence platform confronts the new political realities. Well, I think you've seen already in announcing two strong women candidates today from Alba out of our first four. There's going to be a commitment to women's representation. One of the big issues in this election is going to be safe single-sex spaces for women in Scotland. Most fair-minded people in Scotland, incidentally, respect the result of a jury who hears all the evidence. Now, the result was I was acquitted of all charges, and fair-minded people would say, look, it's now time to move on. I'm moving on to talk about the issues that I've always wanted to talk about, been unable to do for the last couple of years, and that is independence for Scotland and how to secure it for our country. And that's a noble cause, a noble aim, and I'm looking forward to a campaign. And I pledge you this, the Alba Party, at least, will fight this campaign totally positive, and no Alba candidate will go on the negative in this campaign, because we're talking about the most important issue of all, is how to gain Scottish independence in the interests of the Scottish people. The jury was composed of ordinary men and women, predominantly women actually, of Scotland, and they came to a conclusion. So people have complaints with that, they should take it up with jury. But most fair-minded people in Scotland would accept a jury verdict. That's what fair-minded people do.
Do you reject James Hamilton's finding that the ministerial code was not broken as regards Nicola Sturgeon?
No, I made it clear this week that whatever I disagree with, I now have to accept, because you see, when you have court cases, when you have judges, when you have juries, and when you have free investigations, you have to accept the results. If you take part, you have to accept the results. It doesn't matter if you agree with them or not. You accept the results and move on. And the two outstanding parts, that is the legal action, civil action against the Scottish Government and the Permanent Secretary, and also the report to the police on the leak to the Daily Record, which caused so much distress for everyone involved in that issue. They were things which came out of the recommendations, unanimous recommendations of the parliamentary inquiry. But on all matters, I think it's best now, two court cases, two judges, one jury, free investigations. Let's move on and debate the future of Scotland. What I would say is this, that the world has moved on since 2014. And the world in particular is a world in which it's important to have as small a debt as possible and also to take advantage of the extremely low or even negative interest rates. Now, that would tend to make the case for moving to a Scottish currency just as quickly as you can, because you don't want to have debt denominated in another currency. And not just on currency, but also on borders, also in Europe. We are now outside the European Union. That's a different perspective from 2014. And one of the contributions I think Alba will make is to construct the new independence platform, to make our contribution to it, which takes account of these new political realities. Let's take the position of Northern Ireland. I think you'll find that when the arguments settle as regards and we move out of Brexit and the people in Northern Ireland see the advantages of access to two markets, and then the preeminent argument of securing your access to economic marketplaces is going to be an obvious, dominating and common sense proposition. And so just as the fishermen of Scotland have found out the importance of access to that single marketplace, if we can guarantee access to marketplaces, that is the bedrock in which to build your trade. Our argument is that the independence negotiations, which we believe should start when there is an independence majority in the Parliament. Now, these negotiations might encompass referendums or other democratic tests. There might be legal action. There might be international pressure. There could be international legal action. There'll certainly be peaceful demonstrations of the people of Scotland. That is all part of the political pressure that you build up to take forward the independence case. Boris Johnson would like to frame this as the British government, as the London government, taking on the SNP, a single political party. What he won't want, what his worst nightmare will be, is Boris Johnson as the Tory Prime Minister taking on the Scottish Parliament, representing the Scottish people. That's why the Parliament mobilising the people to advance the cause of independence is so vital. That's why it's such a big opportunity to take forward the noblest cause of all, the pursuit of independence for our country.
Thank you very much, Mr. Salmond. Much appreciated.
Thank you very much.
Alex Salmond there, leader of the Alba Party.